Music has always been a big part of my life. It's my lifesaver. It helped me to dive into a parallel universe and forget my rough upbringing, the roots planted in both worlds between dungarees and salsa. Therefore, the cultural heritage played a significant role, definitely, you know what I'm saying? Other than that, I draw my inspirations from trying to blend in the sound that I grew up with my spirit of time. That's what I love about the London jazz scene, you get me? I was strongly influenced by D'Angelo, Hiatus Kaiyote, Jordan Rakei, Neptunes, to all the old school soul, acid jazz and funk like Curtis Mayfield, to mention a few.
With my music I wanna awaken people something way beyond words can ever express. I wanna awake nostalgia, making people feel the raw expression of the moment. Or awaken the imagination of getting different settings and changing the whole perspective around them. Rafting down the river, or is it shouting the whole venue with a house banger, fading out, making people dance in their rooms, you get me?
I'm always inspired by the music that I hear, you know, that's changed over the years. So for sure my sound, my influences change as well. If it's like a party number where it's about, you know, like having a good time, I just want people to enjoy themselves, you know, dance or whatever it is. And then if it's like a more down-tempo, chill song that's more emotional, I guess, try and feel something. Oh, you know, you can feel something on the dance floor as well, but you know what I mean? Like just, yeah, like the soundtrack of your life, you know what I mean? So yeah, definitely. With my dad, he was a guitar player and a singer. He gave me my first guitars and encouraged me to pursue that. Same with my mother, they were both very supportive. So like me, when I discovered Prince or D'Angelo or Stevie Wonder, I was trying to do exactly what they were doing, but obviously I couldn't. So you end up making a mistake there, and then it leads into something else that you wouldn't have thought of had you not tried to like replicate it. So like there's a moment where it switches and it becomes your sound. I guess that's part of it, you know.
Creature.
I just want people to dance on my music, man. It brings me back to that Dutch music culture, that club culture, and I feel like my music sounds good in the club, and that's how I would like to enjoy my music myself if I was listening to it. Yeah. I feel like London, the energy of the city has been a big influence on my music because it makes me feel different a certain way. The grit of the city and the weather influence my music and my sounds, especially my sound choice, in like a gloomy, more grainy way. So my dad was a Latin percussionist, so I grew up on like playing the congas, playing the bongos, all of that stuff. And my mom was a huge like soul disco fan. And then I had sisters who grew up in the early 2000s. They're a bit older than me, and yeah, they showed me Missy Elliott, Pharrell Williams, that kind of like hip hop scene, the early hip hop R&B scene, and it became like a big melting pot for me. All those influences from like fusion, jazz, Latin to like soul and that hip hop influence. And then besides, my first album I ever bought was actually Rage Against the Machine, so I also had that kind of part in me. So yeah, it was a big melting pot of different things. The way I write at the moment, I am quite overwhelmed quite quickly with a lot of options. So what I do is I set a timer for, let's say, 17 minutes. I like random numbers and things, so I set a timer for 17 minutes, and it forces me to not overthink what I'm trying to make. So right now I try to just do the first thing that comes out of me naturally.
dizer, só é sempre atrás de dizer, só assim que vai querer. Ela quer mais assim, vai mais ter.
That's where the story gets messed up. Everything is fine until that point. That's where. Listen, basically, bro, let me explain.
Daqui a pouco a cocaína, vai entender minha vida, vai entender. Ela quer tudo, fala que só drama dela, mano, assim, vai entender.
Being the best version of ourselves, always trying to achieve the next level, always trying to achieve what we dream of. I feel like we also feed so much from each other on that sense. Like, man, I see Mo playing the keys, I'm like, shit, you know? Like, and then I see your production, I say like, shit, I need to like make my game better, you know? Like, yeah.
Walking around with different people, that's what has opened a lot of doors for me, and every single person opened a new door, and then they created a new me, and then I had to learn a new skill. Then we talked about like meditation, talked about morning routines. I was like, you know, when you speak to someone, it's like, because there's not a lot of people that you can get to have those conversations with. Yeah, so when I heard you speak, like, I was like, okay, yeah, this is definitely someone that I want to get close to, because there's not a lot of times I get to have those conversations, because not a lot of people are into that kind of
Selected the
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So that's what kind of drew me towards you as well.
Because like you can see like how the different genres they evolve here and they all like mix together and develop their own like kind of path. So that's what I feel like I first paid attention in London. Like was that like innovation, like everyone is doing their own thing, and like you have this jazz, but this is more just like fusion jazz where you can like see the touches of different genres that help, you know, like pass there. First of all, in Brazil, I saw this guy called Tim Maia. He already died. He was like such a great musician, and he said Brazilian music is the best music, but it's the most recognized, because like you don't have like recognition of Brazilian artists in the rest of the world. So it's like it's a culture that feeds itself. You know what I mean? Like here, I feel like you have all these different countries that came here, and all these like immigrants that came here with their own like taste. Like you have reggae, you have like rock, then you have like R&B, amapiano, you know, like all this stuff that you still see.
I grew up in South Africa. Yeah. In South Africa in general, I was listening to a lot of stuff. Do you get what I'm saying? So it was very housey, like Afro house, like deep house. That's kind of what South African listen to. But then, luckily, my mom and my dad, they're like very big music. They listen to a lot of music. They really love music, even though they don't play instruments, but they love music. And it was like different genres in the house. So my dad was playing Bob Marley, he was playing like jazz, you know, he was playing that kind of stuff. But then like Fela Kuti, those kind of, you get what I'm trying to say? So he was listening to that kind of stuff. My mum was listening to like popular music. Do you get what I'm trying to say? She used to have these CDs called Now That's What I Call Music, and they basically like, it was a compilation of all the top charting songs for like that year, or like, do you get what I'm trying to say?
Top 20, 2000.
So she had every single year, almost every, like she used to have a collection. So I'm getting Bob Marley, but I'm also getting Madonna or Michael Jackson. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So that kind of fusion of different stuff, that's why I feel like I'm more open. I love Afrobeats, R&B, dancehall, but I still listen to Aretha Franklin. I was listening to Aretha Franklin this year. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I'm listening to Louis Armstrong, I'm listening to jazz, I'm listening to Miles Davis.
And then my head started expanding, and with you, Intigo, as fuck. When I started listening to your music, I was like, bro, this is like something that I can see myself doing it, you know? Like, it's a genre that I really relate, and it's kind of like a mixture of like that idea of us having like all these roots in our music, you know? And like percussion wise, we are super like, you know, like we are super like syncopated, and then like we come here and we mix all these different genres with our music, you know, like.
doida pra querer demais, demasiado. Doida pra querer demais, demasiado.
It's a chip on your shoulder, but it's just more about being like realistic, because you don't want to live recklessly and then regret it when you're older, because you're chasing a dream but you don't have the cushioning that other people do. Do you know what I mean?
No,
so I
but
feel
when
like
you
that's
say,
where I
but
am.
when you say other people, you mean those that are born with a spoon, you know, that spoon in their mouth kind of thing. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but that's to make you feel like, oh, you don't stop your dream. Stop your dream.
I think there are a few things. I think it's the feeling of like freedom, you know, like that they can be like free from the thoughts and free from the day-to-day life and from wars and all the shit in the world, and to be present and to be like, to feel, okay, this music makes me feel free, makes me feel like I'm high, makes me feel like, you know, like I can do whatever I want now and get crazy and get naked and dance. I used to listen a lot to Cannonball Adderley, if you know. It's a saxophone player, jazz. And you know, John Coltrane, Sonny Rollins, Ollie Stitt, a lot of jazz players, and Frank Sinatra and stuff like that. And so when I moved to London in 2020, so far like I'm really in the saxophone here, which makes me play more like, you know, also jazz things and R&B and hip hop and things that I feel that they were kind of I don't know if to say new, but yeah, different from what I was used to play in Israel. And it made me feel really, yeah, open my mind to new things, you know, and like Ori Jam and Jago and all those jam sessions made me play more, you know, eclectic, I think you can use this word, like, but I don't, at least I didn't experience a lot of jam sessions in my city. Like, we didn't have jam sessions so much. So when I moved here, it was like, whoa, you know, so many jam sessions, so many people to work with. Like, it's crazy, you know, like, I think probably if you know, Tel Aviv was big like London, maybe it would have been different. But London is so big, you know, it's like, it's like a universe.